Episode 1 was fear. It had potential, but a few issues were present. Episode 2 was frustration. Episode 3 was anger. Episode 4 was suffering.
We're feeling good?
No, I'm not feeling good about the next half.
What's our opinion so far?
Awful.
Underwhelmed.
Big bad. We are on
Aggressively, yeah.
episode 4.
Oh.
We open to Kenobi being placed in a Bacta tank, which means he got away. That robot walking at about 1 mile per hour managed to get him away from Darth Vader. Okay, we see a close-up of Kenobi in the Bacta tank. Already I am getting flashbacks to the Book of Boba Fett, but luckily we only get a small montage of flashbacks to the last episode. We flash between him and Vader, and Kenobi panics and gets out of the tank.
Where's Leia?
What a good question.
Where's Leia?
But yeah, did you both forget about Leia?
The rebel girl, right? She
Oh my
fucking
God.
saw that.
They forgot about Leia. Why don't you ask Tala why she abandoned the 10-year-old to save the man who explicitly made you promise you would look after her? But Tala tells Kenobi that Leia has been kidnapped and he just goes along with it. Cut to Leia. Reva is interrogating her. After shouting how she is a princess of Alderaan, Reva informs her that Kenobi is dead, which is an extremely logical conclusion to come to given the circumstances, but it's a good thing he got away off screen. Reva wants Leia to tell her about the rebel Jedi hideouts like the one on that planet that they were on before, but is Reva stupid? Leia is 10. She has seemingly never left Alderaan and has seen one of these hideouts in her life, and that is the one hideout that the Empire have already discovered. So what does Reva think that this child, who was kidnapped and brought here against her will, knows about this secret rebel alliance? She knows nothing. Cut to not Saw Gerrera. He tells Kenobi he cannot help him. Kenobi says, but the Empire are bad. So then not Saw Gerrera says, okay, I'll help you then. What a good scene.
Wake me up when something interesting happens.
Look, if you want my help, you got it.
He changed quick. He was like, no, I'm going to help you, General. It's not my problem.
Wait, so I want to go back.
And now in 2 seconds, he fucking changed his mind.
Yeah, drinking my coffee. We see our crew discuss a plan. We have Kenobi, Tala, not Saw Gerrera, some random unnamed pilot, and Wade. We like Wade. Wade's very cool.
How's they got names like Obi-Wan Kenobi, but also Wade?
Yeah.
It's impenetrable, Wade.
How far down?
Yeah, Wade, idiot. What we take from this scene is that Wade is a very important character. We learn that the Inquisitor Fortress has no shields. Why? It has no shields because no one would be stupid enough to attack them. So much for the concept of precaution, I guess. Egotistical optimism is always the best defense, as we know. Kenobi points at the speeders we all remember from Empire Strikes Back and says, let's use those to raid this base. Then they are on their way to the base. Pacing! Reva is getting annoyed that this 10-year-old does not know about the thing that this 10-year-old has no idea about. Meanwhile, Tala just walks like an absolute boss through the facility with no one questioning her. I don't even believe the castle would just let in random officers.
No. Surely they would be like, yeah, we need a reason for you to come here. Or clearance.
We get to see a competent Imperial officer. This man's a Chad, I like him.
Doing his job.
He stops Tala and says she needs clearance. But no, she just does the old classic, ha, I am your boss move, and he submits to her. She sits at a console next to a bunch of genuine Imperial officers and begins to talk to Kenobi through a walkie-talkie thing. How are none of these people noticing her very obviously with... Cut to Kenobi swimming, going in with stealth. He gets into the base. He went through like a secret underwater hatch. Notice how he is bone dry here. Reva tries the old classic force download on Leia, but she is a strong independent character and manages to resist. Good on you, 10-year-old child. Let's remember that Poe couldn't resist this, the con man couldn't resist this, but this 10-year-old, Leia's merch tries to attack Reva, but she catches it. This seems pointless, but it will matter later. Kenobi sneaks around the place, feeling incredibly lucky that the security robots have human limitations and only have a front-facing camera. Then, another competent officer shows up to question Tala. I feel like now is a time to add how weirdly edited this show is. It just jumps all over the place. It feels weird to call this guy competent, given that this is what all of the other officers in this room should be doing. But I guess they are all just brain dead. He asks her to come with him, but do not fear, she will just knock him out and no one will notice. Kenobi uses an incredibly lucky dice roll to pull off this stealthy maneuver.
No.
How the fuck did they not see you?
Guys.
Come on, are you serious?
His foot was in the frame.
His body was in the frame. But oh no, his walkie-talkie makes a sound. He didn't turn it off when he was hiding. He uses the ability force make a sound over there to distract the troopers. Meanwhile, Leia tries the old classic, I'll tell you if I can tell my dad first move, which Reva actually almost falls for.
Nice try, princess.
Upon realizing that this 10-year-old is outsmarting her, she sends her to interrogation. I guess that is not where they initially put person they wanted to interrogate. Leia screams for help as she is attached to the torture chair. Kenobi hears her through the Force and asks Tala for a distraction. Currently, Kenobi has stumbled upon a Jedi tomb. Basically, a bunch of Jurassic Park ambered Jedi the Inquisitors have decided to keep. I quite like the idea. They try and kill them in such a way that doesn't cause an obvious stab wound or body deformation, so they can take them all the way back to this fortress where they put them in their little amber fossilizing machine. They just put the Jedi in and then they put them on display. And then do you think they like come here and like look at them like a museum, like on their lunch break? But more realistically, they just put it there so we could get our references, because that's what means good writing, if you recognize a thing. Look at this, they literally... Oh dear. So this kid is still in his, like, training outfit, which means he was killed on the temple, and they took him all the way here, did the whole fossilizing thing, but made sure he still had his little hat on. Tala begins distracting Reva, whilst we get this beauty of a scene. Oh, fuck off.
Oh.
Look at this stormtrooper, what's wrong with him? Mate, I'm done with the show. A probe notices our heroes. Kenobi fights them off, and he's suddenly very good at fighting. Oh no! A bullet hits the glass, and this base is underwater. Oh no! The troopers and the edgy stormtrooper get stuck behind a door, but Kenobi is using the Force to hold back an literal ocean's worth of pressure. But remember that he struggled to like levitate Leia with the Force like not 2 episodes ago. But then it breaks when the door opens and he runs away. He gets in the door just in time, and all the troopers and the edgy stormtrooper just drown on contact with the water. Oh, also look, Kenobi is yet again bone dry. And then, let me present the best scene in the episode.
No, come on.
I am sorry, what?
No one looks at the 4-legged ants, guys. The boys, let's go.
Mate, I have... This episode's... What the fuck are you doing?
Guys, you all know what Obi-Wan looks like. You were given
You don't even
the...
need... Look at this fucking... He's one
Got 4
side...
legs. See it?
Look how wide he is. They get to the landing pad, and the ship that we remember from episode 5 show up, and they shoot all the stormtroopers. And then Tala shoots a mouse droid. But what did it do to you, Tala? It's just, you know, it was doing its thing. It was going to its little mouse droid wife and mouse droid children. I'm sure it had a life. And it was just vibing. Reva then runs and throws a bomb at one of the ships. Wade died. No! Remember Wade? Wade, we care about Wade. He had like one line and he was told he was wrong, and in loving memory of Wade, you will be missed. You have joined our hall of true heroes. Vader gets rightfully mad at Reva for somehow letting our heroes escape. But then he realizes that she is the main antagonist, and she tells him that she did this on purpose. We get the grieving scene for Wade. It's very sad, we all loved Wade. The episode ends with a shot of Leia's merch revealing that it is the tracker, and we know this because all of its LEDs are now red instead of blue. Now, is it just me? Or does this completely destroy the concept of having a little stealth tracker put in a droid, if it is just going to turn all of its little razor LEDs red? And that was episode 4. It's all references, that's all the show, and you can see everyone freaking out about this after the fact because, oh, I recognise that Jedi, oh, I recognise this, oh my god, it's this person, it's so painful. Oh, I cannot stress enough, Obi-Wan tried to sneak Leia out by putting her just under his coat, but no, it's a good episode, I recognise the Jedi, it was sad because there was a youngling. Episode 5. Oh
Yeah, I do feel mouse droid is what I feel the most sympathy for.
I think it's gonna be 100% fan service this episode, and it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, I mean, the fact Darth Vader is in like this profile picture,
Yeah.
the episode.
Oh,
Okay.
dear me. Right, let's see what Reva and the gang get up to today.
That's a shout. I reckon we might get like the Reva backstory finally, because we've only got one more episode after this.
Yeah.
They've got us.
Well, this has to set up the finale. Oh wow! It's the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan and Anakin prepare to have a training battle. You look old. Vader invites Reva onto his ship. Because she was mega brain enough to have put a tracker on our heroes, she gets promoted to the Grand Inquisitor. She even gets a little Cub Scout badge to prove it. Oh, fuck off.
What? No.
Our heroes land on the amazingly named planet Jabeam, where we see that the conman has joined the rebellion. Sweet. Kenobi looks at a handful of lightsabers the rebels just kind of have, and there are also way more Jedi signatures on the wall. Leia's merch gets up to some mischief because remember it is evil now, and it vents. How did it open the door? It cuts a single wire and the entire base just locks down. We get another flashback scene and we continue this training duel.
A Jedi's goal is to defend life, not take it.
I guess that also applies to defending your own life with a human shield, eh, Kenobi? Especially the epic moment. That is a crime. I can't believe I didn't mention that. Oh, absolute war crimes have been used again. Wait, it's literally... Kenobi commits war crimes against moles. Attack incoming! Our heroes weld some bars to the door and get ready to defend themselves from the Empire. The Empire, despite arriving in a Star Destroyer, send down about 50 stormtroopers and Reva.
That's cool.
Like 50 of them.
Get more. Just get more.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Like, send the whole thing.
What about the other Inquisitors? They can help, right?
How many of them are there?
I think like 13 or something total.
Why not get all the bloody lightsaber users in here? I get like...
The Empire starts to shoot at the door, despite having a lightsaber-wielding person on their side. But it takes them a while, because they're only allowed to shoot the door when they're on screen. Kenobi then asks to talk to Reva, so they just start talking through this massive steel door. I'm sure they can hear each other very well.
Wait, sorry, go back. Has the droid got a gun, the one that picked him up?
No. Please.
I think it has.
It's the best image I've seen all day.
I gave the droid a fucking gun. Oh.
He very slowly talks through his train of thought so that the audience can follow. Because Reva knew who Vader was, he concludes that she was a youngling. We get a flashback where we get the scene that we have wanted since 2005. We see Anakin killing children. Yay! Reva says that she played dead to survive the raid on the temple. Okay, I'm sure that worked. All this talk about the past triggers her, and she uses her lightsaber to cut through the door like butter. I can only help but wonder what's going through the head of that stormtrooper who was operating the cannon and has spent a good like 10 minutes just shooting the door, and then she just like... It's like if you got a locksmith round and then you were like, oh no, I have another key, it's okay. Then there is this next scene. The stormtroopers raid the base. Cue action scene moment that was. How are any of you alive? Stop it.
Why did the person with the lightsaber not run to the fucking front?
The stormtroopers haven't hit anyone.
No, they shot one guy.
Did they?
Yeah, they
Did you
did.
see how many there were?
And it looks like they've got like car doors or something to block the lasers.
Oh, it's so refreshing. Star Wars is so good now. I love it. But then Tala does the big sacrifice. Oh, it's so sad. The epic robot protects her as she gets a grenade and she lets it blow up like in her hand because that looks a lot cooler than throwing it towards the enemy. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention that Leia is currently crawling around the vents using the engineering degree we must assume that she has to fix the base. It was designed in such a way that only a small child could like access the wiring. Back in the flashback, Anakin is beating Obi-Wan by being aggressive. Do you get it? Because Vader... Kenobi gives his lightsaber, his gun, and his hologram phone thing to the con man for some reason.
I told you he's getting the lightsaber.
And goes to give himself in to buy some time. He starts to guilt trip Reva by telling her that there are families in the base. And he does the old classic, we could end this together. And Reva begins to consider it. But she concludes that taking on Vader would be too difficult.
Guys, should we be openly discussing treason in front of like 30 stormtroopers? Have they not got radios in their helmets?
Well, no.
Vader, heads up, right? You might get betrayed. Can you just bring all the Inquisitors with you? Like 10 plus
Bring
guys.
the army, bring Palpatine.
We can get him out of the chair to just lightning to death with this one person.
Kenobi is escorted back into the rebel base. Whilst handcuffed, and off screen, he escapes from the two stormtroopers. Yeah. Meanwhile, Vader has arrived and is on pursuit to Kenobi. Leia finds Lola in the vent and manages to remove the little turn evil locator from her. With Lola's help, Leia manages to repair the base, but this means that the rebels can start their escape. As their big ship takes off, Vader appears, and he uses the Force to pull the entire ship down, and he begins to tear it to shreds. And this is problematic for the OT, but it's okay anyway, it doesn't matter, because just like in Rise of Skywalker, Chewbacca was on another transport, and another ship takes off from behind it, and that's the one that all our heroes are actually on. They had planned for this, and had a decoy ship. But this time, Vader just chooses not to use the Force on it, because that would kill our heroes, so they escape. Let us just have a moment of silence for the poor rebel who drew the short straw and had to pilot the fake ship. But then, Reva shows up and tries to kill Vader. He just rotated. And in what, admittedly, removed from everything that got us here, is a decently cool scene, Vader bests her in combat without using his lightsaber, or even putting in much effort at all. That is until he gets her lightsaber and then, like, breaks it in half like a Kit Kat, and gives her one half so they can have a duel. But then he defeats her anyway, and stabs her in the stomach. We get a little parallel showing that during the purge on the temple, Anakin did this to her when she was a youngling. Then the Grand Inquisitor shows up, like the actual one. Oh my god, yes, he's here.
He's back.
He's back.
Let's go.
Yes. Wait, no, but he survived the exact same thing she's just been killed by, so she's gonna be fine.
Revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think?
Isn't it great to know that a lightsaber stab wound is just no longer anything to be mildly concerned about? Like, he gets stabbed in the stomach, he's fine. Reva got stabbed in a child. Reva gets stabbed in the stomach when she was a child and was fine. And then she gets stabbed again now and she's fine. I bet Qui-Gon he really got the short end of the straw, didn't he? He got stabbed in the stomach and he died. He takes back his little Cub Scout badge from Reva, and they leave her to die, even though they should definitely know better. She crawls along the floor, and she finds Kenobi's little hologram phone that the con man very clumsily dropped on his way out. But it's been broken in such a way that she gets a little hologram of Bail up on it, and all she hears are the children and Tatooine. Wonderful. So I guess she's going to be on her way to Luke in the next episode, and the episode ends on an image of just Luke in bed. So I can't wait for the finale, where it's going to be fun. Yeah. But you're forgetting about episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, but the writers have also forgot about
Okay,
them.
true.
Like, we've got this show, you've just got to ignore it.
Oh, and he's going to be like...
This isn't over yet.
He's going to be like, she knows you're Anakin, mate. And he's going to get
He's going to be like, oh, cheers for looking out for me, bro. It would be really bad if my secret identity got out.
Yeah. They just had to go for a pint.
It's like, yeah, so what have you been up to? Oh, hanging about on the desert planet. Couldn't be me, don't like sand.
Should we get predictions out the way?
Qui-Gon Jinn will 100% come back in some kind of form.
Yeah. I think Obi-Wan will be, like, in peril. Like, he'll be... Like, Vader will just be beating him, and then Qui-Gon will come and, like, power him up.
We've got to return Leia as well. I'd like to think it makes sense for them to go back to Alderaan, get rid of her, and then Obi-Wan goes, right, now I'm going back to Tatooine.
I somehow doubt... Yeah, Leia will come along. No, she'll say something motivational. She'll be Qui-Gon. No, we don't need Qui-Gon. Leia will do it. Leia will just be like, you can do this, Obi-Wan. No, it's not good. On Tatooine, Reva harasses some locals to find the location of the Lars homestead. Let's not question how she recovered from her fatal stab wound, got here, or knew that the child on Tatooine was linked to Owen. Owen is forewarned about the incoming attack, and takes Luke home to prepare. Meanwhile, Kenobi and the gang are being chased by the Empire.
Increase firepower.
At once, Lord Vader.
Why was it not already on Mac? Despite how much pressure the pilot must be under right now, everyone on the ship is relatively calm. Kenobi tells the proto-rebels that he should go, as he is the one that the Empire are looking for. Everyone, however, disagrees, as they don't want Kenobi to sacrifice himself for them. Not a single person is like, no, get this man off the ship, he's the reason we're literally seconds away from death.
Okay, so he just said Vader's after him.
Yeah.
No, stay with us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's like, no, mate, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
You go out and deal with your feud with
with Space Hitler.
the space nut. Yeah.
Kenobi tries to reach out to Qui-Gon, and the scene seems to imply that he will show up about now, and it's a pretty good time for a little pep talk. But Kenobi is interrupted and is yet again told that he shouldn't leave. But alas, he does, and leaves alone on a small ship. Vader insists that the entire Star Destroyer should follow Kenobi instead of following the Proto-Rebels. I guess he just forgot that the ship must have like TIE fighters or just other smaller ships you could send after him. So because of this decision, the Proto-Rebellion get away. Kenobi is trailed by Vader. Meanwhile, Aunt Beru theorizes that Reva will come when the suns go down. What a bold assumption. Owen suggests that they need to take Luke and leave, being a logical choice. They are compromised and have to leave. A Sith is literally en route, but Beru says that she will not leave her home and they should stay to defend it. This is literally the worst possible decision. Why would two humans, just regular humans, farmers, choose to stay when they know that a trained Sith is coming to attack them, when they could take their son, Luke, whom is literally of utmost importance, and take him to safety on another planet, even another, if they just went to a different town, that would be good. Instead, the plan is to try and fight her, and Luke is told that if all goes awry, that he should just run away. Not even Aunt Beru is safe from Disney's character assassination. Aunt Beru.
I just think it's weird.
I like this. I don't know why, it's nice to be grounded again. These are just two normal people. I like that.
Boss, can we pause this? I have to go get my pizza.
Oh, epic.
This is burnt all the way so silly. It's all I've got. Fucking kitchen gloves.
What? Wait, what? Oh, good luck.
I can get this out. Oh. Use cardboard to grip it.
I don't.
Mate, this is rough. This is.
Vader decides that he will go to face Kenobi alone. Good thing that he let the Proto-Rebellion go by taking the entire Star Destroyer to follow Kenobi. Kenobi lands on a planet and is followed shortly by Vader. Vader approaches and says the brilliant line,
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
That was cringe. I'm sorry. Mate, you were literally the one that came here. The two share some dialogue, and Kenobi does the epic Clone Wars pose, and the two clash. Meanwhile, Reva enters the Lars homestead. She is ambushed by Owen and Beru, who begin to shoot her. Luckily, they don't hit her. Of course. As Kenobi and Vader clash, Vader is clearly getting the upper hand, and drops Kenobi into a convenient chasm that was just like under the surface. Look at this. Kenobi is very dead. Reva approaches Owen, and this scene probably cements him as the best character in the show, which is quite funny given that it's one scene, and I'm claiming that the best character in the Kenobi show is Uncle Owen. Reva taunts him about how he must love Luke a lot, considering how he isn't even Owen's own.
You really love the boy. Like he's your own.
He is my own.
He prepares to fight an obviously losing battle with a stick. What a Chad.
What do you want?
Justice.
After hitting her in her stab wound, he is beaten and thrown to the floor. Reva gets through Beru, and Luke begins to run into the desert. Meanwhile, we see Kenobi in a little hole inside the massive rock pile. He's using the Force to keep himself safe. Sure, it is clear that he needs some motivation. Maybe Qui-Gon will help him out? Nope. We get flashbacks of Leia and Luke. These flashbacks sort of power him up, and he just throws all the rocks away. Is Qui-Gon... What? He just thought about Leia and that... She'll be Qui-Gon. No, we don't need Qui-Gon. Leia will do it. Leia will just be like, you can do this, Obi-Wan. Vader is ambushed on his stroll back to his ship, and Kenobi begins to win the battle. He does a power move, and Vader is pelted with boulders. Right. Kenobi uses the blunt end of the lightsaber to break Vader's control panel thing on his chest. He cuts his back and does a move that can only be described as a decapitation attempt. Vader's mask is cut open, and we see his face.
Obi-Wan.
Anakin.
Then you will die. Then you will die.
This scene has incredible acting from both McGregor and Christensen, but that is all I can really compliment. The writing is still horrendous. Vader tells Kenobi that he isn't his failure. Kenobi didn't kill Anakin. Anakin did.
You told me Vader betrayed and murdered my father.
Yeah, that's like literally what he told me, I don't know. Kenobi concludes that Anakin is truly dead, calls him Darth, and leaves. He leaves. Vader is beaten. Kenobi leaves. If Obi-Wan doesn't kill him, Obi-Wan is responsible for everyone Vader kills from now on. Meanwhile, Reva has knocked Luke unconscious. You'd think when Ben gives him a lightsaber in A New Hope, he might have mentioned how once a random Sith Inquisitor sort of chased him through the desert with one, and attempts to kill him. But she sees herself. Subtlety. Kenobi insta-teleports to Tatooine, sees Owen and Beru calling out for Luke. He then sees Reva sort of just stroll up. You forget this is a desert, you can't just walk everywhere. But good job, Kenobi. You had one job, and you were not here the one time in this 10-year period that Luke was in mortal danger. One job. Owen and Beru just take Luke home, whilst Kenobi comforts Reva by telling her that she is redeemed, as by not killing Luke, she has brought justice to her former friends. No. Choosing to not murder a child in cold blood is not a morally good decision. It's just the norm. You should not have to think about it. You shouldn't even have to battle with the thought of not killing. It certainly doesn't redeem you from all the murders you have previously committed. Not choosing to not kill someone isn't the opposite of killing. Vader talks to Palpatine, nice. Kenobi shows back up at Alderaan. He left Luke again to say goodbye to Leia. It's okay though, because he needed to give her droid back so she could put it in her little holster.
Oh look, she's got the droid in the holster.
Back on Tatooine, Kenobi shows up at the Lars homestead to tell Owen that he is a good dad. Owen asks if Ben wants to meet Luke, and he said the line, "Say hello there."
Hello there.
Oh my god!
Of course he did it.
Yay, good writing. On his way back home, guess who shows up?
Well, took you long enough.
There he is.
Well, took you long enough.
Mate, now you're a bit late. Liam Neeson. He says you weren't ready to see me, lol. Anyway, let's go.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just were not ready to see. Come on. You've got a ways to go. Come on.
That's the show. What a waste. $25 million per episode. The OT literally cannot function with this show. Kenobi is damaged, Vader is damaged, Leia is damaged, Bail is damaged, Aunt Beru is damaged, everyone is damaged. But we will continue to get content like this, because everyone just wets themselves at the sight of seeing something they recognise. Imagine a show where there doesn't have to be 2 mandated action scenes per episode, and we spend the time with Kenobi on Tatooine, watching him come to terms with what happened with Vader, and how it wasn't his fault. Qui-Gon could have helped him with this. We could see Kenobi use the Force in creative and intelligent ways to stay hidden and deter any threats away from Luke. Leia did not need to be in the show at all. And the Inquisitors, they could play a role, but we really didn't need one of them to be treated as a main character, especially as Reva's arc is just the second sister's arc, just done a lot worse. Vader should never have met Kenobi in between episodes 3 and 4, but alas, this is the era of media we are in now. Hey, at least we got some wacky characters. We can only hope that one day we will get some coherent stories in Star Wars. Thank you for watching. I'm actually so tired.
Alright, boss. I'll see you in a bit.
Adios. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello there.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think? Goodbye.